Hi, this is Lou, welcome to my channel, and today I'm having another little play in my sketchbook. Today I want to explore some colours, ones that I've not used in a while, and so I'm going to do that using just a page in my sketchbook, and I'm going to paint some abstract shapes. I'm going to let the colours flow into one another and just see what they do. So I know I want to start with some limey olivey greens, so I've got green gold and green apatite genuine, and then I want to use reddy pink colour, so I've got permanent rose, and I'm going to use that as an opposite to see what they look like when they're next to each other and what they look like when they're sort of run into one another. They should sort of tone each other down. I'm starting with the green gold. And I'm just, for this project, all I'm going to do is just simply move my brush across the page with some different colours in it, place them down next to one another, allow some colours to run into one another, and just see what they do. So I've put down those greens, and now I'm going to go in with the permanent rose just on the very edge of it. And they're not running terribly much, but that's okay. I'm adding in more of an orangey sort of terracotta red. This is Venetian red, and that's going to give me much more of a sort of brown shade. And then I'm putting in some mucky buff titanium, which is a colour that I like to use to kind of soften everything, give it a sort of pastel chalky look. I'm going to add a little bit more of that permanent rose, create a nice vibrant spot in a couple of places. And then I thought I'd see what some purple looked like. This is Moon Glow, and it's a granulating colour that separates out into sort of pink and blue. It's got sort of, it's quite soft. It's not a vibrant purple, it's more sort of a grey, slaty purple. And I'm going to try that with some green next to it. As I'm going, I'm thinking about the composition as well. I'm thinking that I want some lighter areas and darker areas, and I want some where the colours are much more washed out and soft and subtle, and then other areas where they're really kind of quite strong and intense. And I'm pretty much keeping those strong, intense colours in the kind of the bottom third of the page, and then sort of, yeah, along that sort of stripe along the middle, and then sort of washing them out above and below with lighter colours with a lot more water in them. And the colours, will, where they've got a lot more water, will blend and flow across the page. I decided to try a little bit of phthalo turquoise in here. I think in the end I decided that I didn't want too much of that, it would just complicate things, but a kind of a tiny touch occasionally would just tint some of the other colours in an interesting way. So now all I'm doing is sort of looking at the page as a whole and seeing what more I think it needs, and do I need any kind of stronger areas. So I'm reinforcing that pinky colour with some more of the permanent rose. And adding some stronger hits of the green apatite genuine, which is a really kind of strong colour, and it sort of pushes the other colours out of the way. And I quite like the way it does that when they're all wet. I added quite a bit of the phthalo turquoise into that corner, and it all started running off the edge. And again, I think I'm not entirely sure about the phthalo turquoise in there, but then that's what a sketchbook's for. It's for trying these things out. Use a little bit of paper towel to dab up any excess paint. And then I decide that what this needs is a little bit more texture in some of the areas that are lighter. So I go and find my little tub of table salt and just sprinkle a little bit over those areas while they're still wet. And that will give me those little pops of texture in there. So I find this to be a really useful way of testing out different colours and seeing how they work next to one another. And I really like the end result as well. I think there's something really beautiful about just letting the colours play and flow with one another, seeing how they work together and how they don't. I hope you have fun with this one if you try it, and I look forward to seeing what you do with it. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.